Someone said, why am I going to pay $500 for a picture of a hobo?
I always thought Kyle Beckerman was a good player.
Fire sticking their foot in it.
They said they were going to cut my food rations.
Cork soaking.
There is no possible way to articulate the malaise, the lack of ambition, the way it's felt for so long to be a fan better than he did. Welcome to the Enemies of the Fire podcast. This week, we're going to talk all things about the USMNT's unceremonious exit from Copa America. Then we're going to wrap up the rest of the tournament in the Euros. And then we get to talk about the Chicago Fire. I am FC Neo Tokyo. That is DPG. And today, in lieu of having Jaymes, we have a very special guest, Konor Knows Soccer. Konor, how are you, bud?
I'm doing good, guys.
Excellent. Go ahead. Talk over us, my man. That's the way here.
Ready to voice my frustrations when it comes to the current state of the nation.
You said it earlier offline. This is much cheaper than therapy. DPG, do you agree?
It's a lot cheaper than therapy. All right. This feels like kind of like I was gonna say a bad first date, but this kind of feels like your girlfriend broke up with you kind of sort of situation.
Oh yeah, it's awful. It's just to let everyone know, the U.S. has crashed out of the Copa America, and we're all pissed off about it. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, last night, they lost to Uruguay 1-0, which there's a lot of things to bitch about that game, but there's plenty of things to bitch overall, everyone. So, DPG, your initial feeling about let's talk the game first. What did you feel about this game with no other influence from anything else? This game alone.
So, the one thing that was very visible, and it's kind of been visible for the past couple of years, is that the U.S. men's national team has no creativity in the midfield. They rely heavily on the
bold
wings.
statement there.
They don't have any playmakers.
Hold the fucking phone here.
Okay.
Have you watched any men's national team games within the past 2 fucking years?
Yeah.
What is the problem?
And you know what? I've watched the U.S. men's national team since like the 90s, bro. And the thing is that this team does great when they're playing against CONCACAF teams. They go absolutely garbage when they play against European teams, right? The outlier in all this was the England team in the World Cup, which we all know England's hot and cold.
They're up and down. They're hot and cold, but we played them off the field.
Yeah, but then when you face a team like the Netherlands, when you face a team like Brazil, like Argentina, like Uruguay, like Venezuela, all of a sudden you start struggling. And I think someone posted Jaymes posted a picture of Greg Berhalter's, results against the top 30 teams in the world. And all I saw on that list was a bunch of losses, and a couple of wins were against Mexico.
All the wins were against Mexico.
All
of them. Which is wild.
It's not even a top team anymore.
No, not at all. And
it's not.
So, did you feel at any point last night that they were going to win this game against Uruguay?
No. I didn't see any urgency. I think they were more or less playing for the draw. Like, the defense was buckling. They were trying to work as hard, but Uruguay was working even harder.
But would you not say, at least what I thought, is that early yellow card against Chris Richards, on top of how else the game was being called, he instantly was way less physical, which took a large chunk of his game.
That was never a yellow card. I don't care if it's on fucking Mars. That Chris Richards yellow card is never a yellow card. A foul?
Look, man.
No.
We could talk about the controversies on the refereeing.
We'll get there.
Fine. We'll get there. But the thing is,
he allowed fucking play when he had a yellow card out.
Yeah, that
What
was
the
the
fuck
worst.
kind of dumbass does that?
I think even worse than the offside because you get those calls. You get those
That was
offside calls. That was the most egregious thing that happened.
If
Don't
we
worry,
had
in a couple of
outside
years,
Euros, we'd be fine. We'd be in the fight.
in a couple of years, you're gonna hear about this guy getting an investigation for bribery and some sort of scandal.
Oh
So
man,
don't worry.
the Jack Warner memorial,
Yeah,
like the Jack
The
Warner
crack-
memorial giant bag with a money sign on it.
Yeah. Breaking news: Peruvian referee is under investigation under bribery scams
Fine.
predating Copa America.
Did you see online that people pulled up on his fucking Google? He was fucking Wikipedia, whatever the fuck.
No, they edited that in.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, no, somebody went in and did that quick. They were like, he's been known as a fan of the Uruguayan national team.
The bottom line is that this U.S. men's national team, as I mentioned before, is all bark, no bite. And the problem is that we have a bunch of players that I don't know if it's gotten to their heads where they think they're the golden generation. The golden generation does not exist. You know who's the golden generation? I'll tell you who's the golden generation. The golden generation for this U.S. men's national team is going to be the team that wins the World Cup. When they win the World Cup, that's your golden generation. Otherwise, we got 11 guys.
Yeah, that term gets thrown around so easily. It's a term for teams like us that don't have shit to hang our hat on.
Yeah,
So it's like,
exactly.
well, this was the best collection of players we could put together ever. Yay.
Until we win a World Cup, we don't have a golden generation. We just have a generation slightly better in terms of player quality than the previous generation. So that's it.
Here's my hot take. The United States will never have a golden generation. You know why? Because we don't prioritize soccer here.
But that's changing, though.
It costs too much for club soccer. Thousands upon thousands of dollars. Most people can't fucking afford that unless you live in gated fucking communities and you're a lawyer. Your wife's a fucking surgeon. Okay? Nobody can afford that. And I see this amongst other sports too.
Yeah.
Well, wait, hold on. Before you go any further, though, like, are we not the best in the world, quote unquote, at a multitude of things at the Olympics?
We are. And the thing is, we have 350 million people that live in the U.S.
Which means soccer doesn't need to be our cultural touchstone for us to be good enough to win, is what I'm saying.
The thing is, you got countries that have less than 10 million people, and they'll put up a hell of a soccer team. They'll put up a hell of a national team. Uruguay has like 10.
That's all they have. From the time you can walk, you're kicking a fucking ball.
I mean, that's true. But I agree with you that, yeah, you are right. Club soccer is expensive. Like, I think, I know Token knows this. I was actually kind of like, looking around what soccer clubs I would put my son at. Obviously, I settled on the AYSO. He's only 4 years old. But later on, if he likes it,
then it's a real conversation.
Then it's a real conversation where is it worth spending $1,000 a year for 2 seasons of Pee Wee soccer?
Have you ever heard of a reverse mortgage, DPG?
Exactly. So it goes from like paying $100 for 2 seasons on the AYSO versus paying $1,500 because you want to put the kid in the Chicago Magic or some other elite soccer club. And you are right, Connor. It's a business.
So wait, Connor, to your point, you don't think the U.S. can ever create a golden generation, which I don't necessarily disagree, but I will say this. I personally feel like there's enough people in this country, it doesn't need to be our cultural fabric for us to win. Now, I want to touch on this. Do we or do we not feel like that we currently have a batch of players good enough to win games against the likes of Uruguay?
Yes.
I agree.
On paper, they do. On paper, they do. But when you put the product on the field, Uruguay had guys that played in Liverpool and had guys that played in LAFC. That's how the mixed bag of players that they had. So the fact that they can make it work with that combination and we cannot make it work with our whole European-based squad, says a lot.
I wish that the men's team can look at what made the women's team successful for so many years.
That's easy.
Copy and paste their formula that they use. I'm not joking.
No, I mean, it's coaching, right? We had the greatest coaches in the world on the women's side.
And they went out and hired Emma fucking Hayes from Chelsea, one of the best women's teams in the fucking world. Who did the men rehire? Greg fucking Berhalter.
Which is
I think one of the comments we received a couple of weeks ago, someone said, despite the fact that the U.S. Soccer Federation used AI, use all think tanks, they use all their analysts, the best they could come up with was Greg Berhalter as an.
Well, so obviously there was a hell of a lot of refereeing controversies for the singular game. We feel aggrieved by the second game against Panama because of Tim Weah's red card, and that was pretty dumb, but I still think you should be able to beat Panama with 10 men.
Add something else too, though.
What's that?
Add something else. So ESPN, I don't know, I saw this on my YouTube feed. ESPN actually posted a picture of Greg Berhalter telling the players right before the Uruguay goal that, hey, don't worry, guys, they're tied 1-1 in the other game. Like, dude, if you're relying on other results to make it happen, it's like you're going back to that 2017 mentality with Bruce Arena coaching that disastrous national team. That's what you're going back to. When I saw you do this, when I saw that do that, I was like, that's it. This guy's not serious. He's not serious. He doesn't want to win. He's hoping for results to go his way. Like, why is he there? Are we going to win the game, or are we going to waste our time?
It's literally insane. We've lost Konor, by the way. He I'm sure he'll be back. But no, it's literally insane. The thing that's getting me the most pissed off, like the thing that I'm most mad about with this team is 2022 we qualified, okay? We got that ghost. We got into the tournament. We were playing with house money. We played well. We didn't win a lot, but we played well. This was our coming out party.
Yep.
This was our coming out party of like, we're fucking awesome. And watch out when World Cup comes. And then we're a contender by the World Cup. That's what was supposed to happen. And they literally took a guy marred in controversy whose contract had expired. They didn't even have to pay him to leave.
Nope.
And they rehired him. And and we, the first go around, I hated the hire. But it's like, it's the men's national team, whatever. They hired him. Let's see what happens. And we got.
What makes it so bad now, though?
What?
That Jesse Marsh Canada's team actually went to the next round.
Yep. Jesse Marsh's Canada's team is in the next round with, 4 days of having a new coach. You know what I mean? Konor, welcome back. I don't know if.
The crazy.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
The crazy part is Jesse Marsh really wanted the United States job.
Yeah,
he wanted it.
He wanted it. He waited for it. He was waiting for it.
Yeah, he turned down a bunch of terrible European jobs that most everybody else in his position would have taken just to wait for the U.S. job, and this was, I don't know if you heard, Konor, but this was our coming out party, and that's what I'm pissed, because we were supposed to put our stamp on life. I love those pajama pants, and we... Oh man. So what went wrong? Because I goddamn sure as hell better not hear anyone say that we got to give Greg, like, I do not want Tim Weah or that ref from last night to be the reason why we got bounced. Like you like this was the tournament we were supposed to win these games. Like, everybody came into the tournament like, okay, win the first two because you're going to lose against Uruguay. It's like, why do you expect that? Where we want to be, we expect to at least it be a coin flip, right? But if you win it, we went into the tournament with loser mentality.
There's tons of reasons why, that's your point. Well, I want to start off, I think this is more or less like a mentality issue with the men's national team. Because if you're in the men's national team, and especially now in this current era, and you keep hearing everybody say, "Oh, this is the golden generation. This is the team. This is the team that's going to win the World Cup." It's going to get to your head, and the problem is that we saw the writing on the wall. A lot of these players haven't had a lot of playing time in the European teams. A lot of these players are struggling to get minutes, and a lot of times it almost seems like they don't have the drive. Like they've gotten a little bit lazy. It's just
I don't know. Call me crazy, but especially last night. But I think the whole tournament as a whole, Christian Pulisic was our best player. Proved he's the best. He cared the most. He had the most fire. He's gotten more physical in his game. You used to be able to just brush him aside and knock him over.
He might be the exception, but one thing you got to keep in mind is that when they brought back Greg Berhalter, a lot of the players wanted him back because they said they felt comfortable with him.
See, that's the problem. He's probably the best effing assistant coach for this team. We should have hired somebody good and had him be the assistant. Had the good cop, bad cop shit. No, I'm serious.
And if you have players doing that they're saying, "Oh no, bring him back because we feel comfortable," right away, that should be like a red flag. That should be like, okay, why are they saying that? Like, I get it that he's a good coach, but if you're telling me that you feel comfortable with him as a coach, it doesn't really paint a positive picture because you want a coach that's gonna light a fire. Like, it's gonna say, "Hey, go run 3 miles, go run 2 miles, go jog, go do this, do that." You want a coach that's gonna get in your face and try to get the best out of you. If he's just gonna say, "Take it easy," then why are we there?
Okay.
Keep in mind, this is the same head coach who called up Paul Areola, Christian Roldan, and Joshie Zardes to World Cup qualifying. I got nothing against Paul Areola or Joshie Zardes.
We on this podcast learned that Paul Areola is doing rather well for himself.
He hasn't had a national team call up. And it's like with West-based players, when healthy, when they're not getting called up to the national team, they can do great things. Paul Areola, Jesus Ferreira, Andre Yedlin.
They're serviceable players. They're like any of those players. I would freak out if the Fire signed them. I'd be like, hell yeah!
But
to me, they're bench players on the USMNT national team.
Yeah, it's
Acosta done this season for the Chicago Fire.
Well, I mean, I was excited about him, but I mean,
what has he done?
It doesn't matter. People come here to die inside.
Yeah, people
slowly
come here to die.
People come here to die.
But what I'm trying to say is this: those guys that you mentioned. Yeah, you're right. They're great MLS players. I would have them on the bench on the USMNT national team. That would be like my last resort type of situation. I wouldn't necessarily put them on the starting 11.
Well, hold on, Konor. What did you think about this whole comfort thing? Because I kind of have a different take than DPG on this.
Adam said about him, and it's not just about football. To me, I looked at that and said, okay, problem here. The head coach is supposed to be pushing you to get better. And I'm going to use a hockey thing here. The last head coach, players about anything outside of hockey and about their families, got fired before the season. I'm looking at you, Columbus Blue Jackets. Your dumpster fire of an organization.
Hey, but you're right. You want a head coach that's gonna literally scream at you to freaking hustle. Like, hey, pick up the pace. Hey, you're letting that guy get away. What are you doing?
Well, but I will say this. This team of young players needed to be coddled for a little while, and now I think they need to be pushed. I actually think there's a time and place for all of it. You do need. Yeah, go ahead.
So to add on to your point, when you look at what Wilfred Nancy has built in Columbus over the past year, that's like something we need with the national team. We need that head coach who's gonna push players when they need to be pushed, and cuddle them when they need to be cuddled.
there's a time and a place for that. You're absolutely right. I honestly think if you're gonna coddle the player, say, "Hey, welcome to the U.S. men's national camp. Welcome. You have a great time. Now let's get to work." And have that serious. Be afraid. You need to have a U.S. men's national team head coach that's not afraid not to call up a player if they're doing bad, and have that conversation with them afterwards.
Well, but
Like,
hold on, though. Hold on. Yunus Musa and Timothy Weah. Now, bad example. We all know how I feel about Tim Weah, and we know what just happened. We're not talking about that. But don't they normally come in and smash it every time they come in, but they're not playing as much at their clubs?
You need to bring that same level of intensity across the club and the national team. It doesn't work just one way or another, because you can have great club players, but then you can have crappy national team players. So you need to have the same level of intensity. It's like saying, hey, does Messi turn off the light when he goes play for Argentina? Does Cristiano Ronaldo turn off the light when he goes play for Portugal? That's the kind of player that you need. You need a guy that's going to play the same no matter what team he's in. All right. Just because you could show up in a national team when you're playing against Mexico, when you're playing against Honduras or Guatemala or Costa Rica, and you look good, doesn't mean that you're going to be able to play that good when you play a team like Uruguay, when Argentina, Germany, all the heavy hitters. And that's the issue. Yeah, go ahead.
To add to that point, one of the sayings that Wilfred Nancy says is, respect everyone, fear no one. I think the problem with the current crop team is don't have that level of respect for opponents outside of the region.
Yep.
Fear them.
Yeah, they're not. They're too respectful. You're right. They sit back too far. They're not positive enough in the approach.
So I think the right approach is that they're not blue collar enough when they're playing against tough teams.
But some of these guys, Weston's pretty tough. Della Torre is pretty tough.
Yeah, those guys are tough. That's fine. But when you have one guy that's tough and the other guy that's soft,
did you see how tough Tyler Adams is? He gets kicked and he gets the yellow card.
But what I'm saying is this: is that, and I've mentioned this before tons of times, that U.S. men's national team, it's not over that hump yet. It's not over to the point of becoming an elite team like the rest of the top European teams like Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay. They're not there yet.
Those are South American teams.
Europe and South American, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
European. Yeah. You can even add some African teams.
They're getting to be some pretty scary teams coming out of Africa too.
The Ivory Coast.
Oh.
And you could add Korea. You could add Japan.
Tournament. Whole thing. Home soil.
Yeah, they fire their coach. They win in the tournament. Yeah, at home, dude. You keep cutting out. We need to make sure we get your voice in here.
Out, bro. Check.
So
every time you talk, it's like a 5-second delay.
So hold on. We're going to transition to this because the big elephant in the room, the big thing everybody wants to talk about is the coach of the national team. This is not associated with anything, just a list of out-of-work coaches right now. And I'm going to read through it real fast because there's actually only two people I don't know who's on here. I don't know who they are. And then we're going to talk about who we actually think might do something here. So we got Pochettino, Joachim Low, Zidane is free, Jurgen Klopp, Thomas War Criminal Tuchel, Xavi, Stefano Poloni, I don't know who that guy is, Allegri, Edin Terzic, which I don't know who he is, David Moyes, and Mauricio Sarri.
Of Borussia Dortmund.
Oh, okay. He's the Dortmund guy? Oh, okay. So he's young, right? He's stupid young.
So
I like Pochettino. I like Moyes. I like Sarri. I like, obviously, Klopp is the number one.
Yeah, Klopp is you know what? The U.S. Soccer Federation should back up the Brinks truck and just say, Klopp, what's it going to take for you to right this ship. We're about to walk into a disaster in 2026.
They should look at Jurgen Klopp and hand him a blank check and say, "Name your price."
There you go. Name your price.
Wait for him to touch down on
now,
U.S. soil and just kidnap him.
If we can't pay it now, we'll just work out a plan. We'll pay you for life, yearly payments, like you won the lotto.
Dog, do you like the water? Here's South Carolina. Anyway, so honestly, Klopp is number one. It's duh. Fuck duh. I honestly believe he could take this team to like a semifinal in a World Cup.
If the U.S. Soccer Federation were to say, "Hey, we need $1 donations so we can build up a pot to get Klopp," I'll give him $5.
I would donate to that Kickstarter or GoFundMe.
A lot of people, a name that I keep seeing thrown around is Wilfred Nancy.
I wouldn't mind that, but he's going to Europe.
Yeah.
If he recently signed a contract extension with Columbus.
Oh,
they can't be breaking. MLS hasn't broken contracts.
That doesn't mean nothing, but if he were to leave Columbus, he would leave for a French team.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's gonna take over.
Maybe.
He's gonna take over Nate's or something and do something with them, and all of a sudden, then he'll be in those conversations.
You know what? My thing is, I like Wilfred Nancy. Like, honestly, if the Fire had him, I'll be over the moon. Me and Tuck will be over the moon.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But the thing is, in terms of national team, to me, he's kind of like an outlier. Like, he's outside of my top 10 or whatever. Like, he's a great choice, but not the choice that I would want. I get what you're saying, Connor. But if this man could go to France, could go coach, Nance, like Toke said, and he does things, and he gets, he becomes a French national team head coach.
Oh, that'd be wild. So what are you hearing, Connor?
Combination of Wilfred Nancy and Kylian Mbappe.
Oh, I know. So what are you hearing? Is he going to France, or is he even interested in a national team gig?
There's nothing sustainable. It's all just chatter.
Yeah.
There's nothing. But I think, if you want my honest opinion, if Columbus were to repeat as MLS Cup champions this year, Wilfred Nancy will say, "Bye-bye, I'm going to Europe."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that would probably be the best career move. That's like the next step career move. Like, try your workout in Europe. And if that could lead to bigger things, like I mentioned, he could coach a League One team, in France, take him to the championship, win the championship, take him to the Champions League final, whatever. And if he gets the French national team job, at that point he's pretty much elite, especially if he wins something. So by all means, like I said, I will love Wilfred Nancy for the Fire. Like, I think me and Togo will go crazy. And right now, at this time and place, we kind of need a proven winner. We need a guy that's
do you
trenches.
Do you think the U.S. can play sorry ball?
Well, I mean, they play some sorry ass ball.
I mean, I'm not mad at that. I think Moyes is too old. I think if you would have struck 10 years ago, yeah, for sure. Because I still think Moyes. I don't give a shit about Manchester United, but I still bang the drum that David Moyes got a raw deal out there.
So, here's my thing. And then we'll probably wrap up this segment. I don't care who the next president is, as long as they deport Greg Berhalter and support him.
What are you going to deport him to?
Dude, it's legal. They could drone strike him right now if they wanted. Anyway, so what do we think is so as of this moment right now, just to check in, it's 9:30 at night Central Time on July 2nd, and Greg Berhalter still has a job from everything I can tell. I haven't been on Twitter in a hot minute, but Do we think I mean, we're talking about it as if it's a foregone conclusion. Do they fire Greg Berhalter, and if they do, when?
They need to fire him.
Well,
Come
duh.
on, they need to fire him. They need to get rid of him as soon as possible. If you want to wait till after the 4th of July, holiday to do it, by all means, do it. But after you fire him, you better get up. You better, bring your Brinks truck, a couple of Brinks truck. You better go to Germany, and you better hound Klopp and tell him, hey, I got 5 of these trucks full with money. How much more do you need for you to coach our team? That's how the situation is, because you need to prepare this team. In about 2 years, they're going to be playing a World Cup in home soil. So
I don't like how they're using the equal pay initiative to act poor when looking for a coach. By the way, that's a really bad look, and I hate it. It makes you look soft.
The women's team can go out and spend money on a coach. What's keeping the men's team from doing it?
Yeah. So my thing is, you need to act now. Like, sometimes.
Do we see it at the end of the week? Does it happen after the end of the tournament?
I want to say at the end of the week. Like, honestly,
I'm kind of shocked it didn't happen last night.
It has to happen at least at the end of the week, because you need a guy that's going to come in. When you bring in a new head coach, chances are he's going to bring his own analysts. He's going to bring his trainers. He's going to have he probably has his own scouting setup. He probably has coaches that go scout players in Europe. You need a guy that needs to hit the ground running, and not a lot of guys can do that. Klopp is like the best option you can go with. The man has a proven track record. He's worked miracles.
Okay, but in a world of reality where they don't sign Jurgen Klopp, what American-born coach is there that they could kind of?
There's none.
Right.
There
isn't.
None. You have none.
Former,
Jesse, the only guy that was
coach got him promoted.
Who?
The only coach.
Hold on. Who?
Can't think of his name, but he's American. Coaches Brighton now. Helped St. Pauli get promoted.
Oh, was he at Stuttgart for a while? God, I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about. German-American coach.
But here, listen up. Before we get all crazy with naming coaches, first, this cannot be like somebody's pet project, like somebody's first gig. This has to be like plug and play. Like,
you don't want to see what Caleb Porter can do?
Absolutely not. I don't want some club coach to come in and experiment. All right, we don't need that right now. You need a guy that knows what he's doing. You need a guy that's gonna bring in his system here. Honestly, there's no American coach. The only guy that I had in mind wanted to coach Canada, and oh my God, he's still in the tournament.
He is still in the tournament. Maybe Canada will be mad with the results and fire him, and we'll get a chance.
Yeah, and we'll see him in 2026. Don't worry. So.
All right. Well, listen, I think we've talked this to death. Yeah. We will have an emergency podcast if they fire him, because we'll have to party. Connor, pimp yourself. Connor, this is Connor Knows Soccer. Did you know that? Connor, tell us what all you do.
Let's see. I have a Twitter account, which in the bio it says I tweet about the crew a lot, which is true. I have a semi-inactive YouTube channel that I'm hoping to get more active on. As we get moved to a permanent residence, and the podcast idea, the On the Touchline idea, is still in the works. Again, gotta wait till I get in a permanent residence.
That makes sense.
To get all this shit done.
All right. Oh shit! What's the other podcast? You're on a English podcast, right?
Yes. So it is called The Volley, over on a network called SJP World Media.
Okay, check that out. Check Connor out. Check everything he's doing. This kid's everywhere. And
I'm there. I'm every fucking where.
Anyway, Konor, thanks a lot for coming by. And after the break, we will be back to talk all sorts of Copa America and Euros. So, yay. Peace. Welcome back, fellow enemies of the fire. We are here to discuss all of the craziness going on this summer with Copa America and the Euros, which I feel like a bad soccer guy on the internet because I don't watch a lot of the Euros.
I don't watch them either. I just watch score lines.
Yeah, we're scoreline watching. But in lieu of any actual knowledge, we're gonna try and decide. We're gonna try and pick the this next round here. So let's see how this goes. The first matchup is England versus Switzerland. Switzerland got here by beating Italy 2-0, and England beat Slovakia 2-1 in what I heard was a quite hairy situation.
Very hairy. Last minute goal. There you go.
So, who do you think? Can Switzerland do it? Can Switzerland make the world happy and beat England?
I honestly think that if England's playing like the way they played against Slovakia, they're not there. I think Switzerland could actually beat them.
You don't think they're due for a bounce back, though? They are so freaking talented.
Again, look who's coaching them.
Yeah.
So
the English Greg Berhalter.
Yeah.
You know. Well, all right. I'm with you on that. I think I don't know. I think England.
Shaqiri's gonna score the winner.
Shaqiri scoring the winner would be the best and worst thing to ever happen. I got to tell you that. All right. You know what? Screw it. As a podcast, we back Switzerland. By the way, we are sans Jaymes this evening. We had a guest earlier. If you're watching this as one of the broken out videos, go back to the main podcast, man. We have a lot of fun all the time. Anyway, next game. This is probably the game, or no, JK. Turkey and the Netherlands. We all know that I was pretty happy when I thought the Netherlands had been eliminated by finishing third in their group. So, Turkey is the excitement of this whole tournament. They had a save at the last second to preserve the win against Austria. Does Turkey keep this train moving?
So, remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about the Turkish league?
Yes, we did.
Yes. They're like that misfit team, like that island of misfit toys, like that, Jack in the Box, you don't know what you're going to get, So, honestly, I won't be surprised if you get a Turkish team that goes all the way to the final. Like, I honestly, you know what? They're gonna be like you can't even call them a Cinderella team because they had won third place at a World Cup before. So
when was that?
They're a tough 2002.
Damn, that was the weirdest year. That was the weirdest World Cup in history.
You look, this is kind of a very interesting Euro. Kind of, it's kind of strange. You got Mbappe wearing a mask. What else? Let's see.
Well, own goal is the leading scorer of the entire tournament, right?
Yeah. So,
big tournament for own goal.
If things are going weird, don't be surprised if you see Turkey in the final.
I'm loving this pick. Turkey over the Netherlands. Yeah. All right, so now for the big boy side.
Go ahead.
For the big boy side, we have everything that's right in the world, Spain, versus the scourge of the planet, Germany.
Wow.
Hey, I'm still not over Torsten Frings. Anything German national team, I enjoy it so much I use their word. Schadenfreude, right? Like where you enjoy someone else's misery. That's how I feel about the German team. So I've been eating lately, but Germany beat Denmark, which duh, and then Spain whooped up on Georgia, which I don't even know. Like they have Atlanta. How did they not? No, I'm kidding. It's a dumb joke that everyone has made. So Spain and Germany. I'm going my heart. I'm going Spain. Actually, and legit, I feel like Spain is about to be on the like for real come up again, where you're just like, oh God, it's Spain. Everyone hide, it's Spain.
You know what? On paper, Spain looks better. I would say that.
I think in practice, Spain looks better.
Yeah, I think Spain.
I mean, I guess I guess that everyone's wringing their hands over Sané and his performances, but like, you know, Germany's got some wild talent. There is some players, you know, but I like Spain. I think Spain is on the come up. Now, for the star fucker, we have Portugal playing France. So Portugal won on penalties against Slovenia. Portugal won on penalties against Slovenia to get here, and France beat Belgium 1-0 in what has turned out to be just everyone in the press's mental breakdown that this quote-unquote golden generation did not achieve bullshit. And everybody, Kevin De Bruyne got all testy, which I don't know why. I mean, I guess like if you're dressed up like a dorky cartoon character and you get whooped up on and stuff, like I feel you, but like you're KDB from fucking Manchester City. You've won everything ever forever. You can get kicked in the face now and again. Anyway, yep. So I mean, what do you think? Oddly low-scoring games for these two teams.
So, I mean, unless Mbappe, you know, I kind of want to see this like maybe like the end of an era for Portugal. With I think this might be this might be it for Cristiano Ronaldo in Portugal.
Yeah, but don't they play a little bit better when he's not on the field?
I mean, so did Manchester United, but that's besides the point.
But, I love that the episode James is not on. We have referenced Manchester United now twice.
I know.
Anyway,
the thing is like Mbappe has a whole, Phantom of the Opera mask thing going on,
which I love. I love my soccer players accessorizing.
Yeah. So honest, man, it'd be cool if they paint that mask.
Well, he had the France flag one, and then he had the all black one. Like I think he's making a statement, man.
Oh man, you gotta put some teeth on it or some because I mean either way he's a beast regardless with the mask or without the mask. So,
he's like that's the thing about him. He's starting to kind of get to that point where he's getting shit instead of the hype. But like even the World Cup final he lost. He was the one that scored their 3 goals. You know what I mean? Like,
so yeah. So I mean, France is going through, man. I have a feeling France. This is it. This is the passing of the torch from Cristiano Ronaldo to Mbappe.
I know I just said I didn't watch a ton of this tournament, but I've been trying to pay attention. I feel like France has underperformed and still gotten to this point. Like if France ever clicks, they'll stomp. They will stomp Portugal if they click.
That's like you physically as a person trying to stop a tank. It ain't gonna happen.
No. So yeah, I think France moves on. I think Spain, Spain. So then we'd have Spain, France, and Switzerland, Turkey.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, bro. The Turks are gonna go to the final.
So then the Turks are in the finals, and then who you got in Spain and France? I wasn't gonna go all the way. But might as well. Who you got for Spain versus France?
I wasn't going all the way, but I'm just gonna call it. This is that tournament. This is the weird tournament.
This is 2004 all over again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. In a Spain-France matchup, the way that France has been so up and down, I say Spain, and then you got Spain-Turkey, and then you might as well just like. It's like the Joker, just snap the pool cue and throw it.
Yep. Only one who gets a job.
Yeah, we have one position open, dog. All right, so now that we've done the Euros, I guess it's time to move on to the tournament that the United States just were embarrassed in. Also, Mexico, by the way, can we not like in what has been an extremely hard day to be an American yesterday and today. Can we not just take some solace in the fact that Mexico was really, really bad in this tournament? I feel good about it. Do you feel good about it?
I feel great about it. And it always cracks me up when the pundits start talking about it. And I forgot who it was. I think it was Herculez Gomez. I forgot who it was. What was the other guy's name? Sebastian Salazar?
Yeah, Sebastian Salazar.
Yeah, so the Mexican Soccer Federation rather play games in the U.S. to get the money, the gate money, rather than putting this team through like the fires of hell and putting them against like the best of the world.
Well, they don't play as Azteca as much. They used to have the lungs, man. Mexico always had the lungs. They would just run you into the goddamn ground, man.
But I think a lot of teams they found ways to counteract that. I think, like the U.S. men's national team goes trained up in the Rockies or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and we've won there once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what we're watching right now live in this moment is Costa Rica is going to win in seconds from now against Paraguay. And the problem is
they won.
So then they only have 4 points. Okay, so never mind. They were never in it anyway. Okay. So Colombia and Brazil, if results hold, which they're only a minute or so away from finishing, then we're looking at a Brazil-Uruguay in the round of 16. How do you feel about Brazil versus Uruguay out the gate?
Well, I mean, Uruguay's ahead right now. Uruguay is becoming a heavy hitter in South America. I think they always have been. They've been that one,
They were always, how like for a hot second it was Mexico and U.S. and Costa Rica. That's kind of what's happening. Is they kind of bumped Colombia out of the conversation, and now they're like, we're hanging out with Brazil and Argentina. They kind
of got away from that. Yeah, we're not taking that fifth playoff spot anymore.
Right.
We're going direct.
Yeah, so I don't know who survives that. That's going to be a bar fight.
That's going to be a bar fight. That's the one game that probably was a Saturday night. Yep. I think I might sit down and watch that one.
Well, before that game, you'll get to watch Colombia play Panama. Is there any chance in hell Panama does the Panama?
No. This team, and it's crazy because these two teams, and we're talking about historical aspect. These countries have some history together, so it adds on. So, should be an interesting matchup.
It is. It will be an interesting matchup. So the other two matchups that we got is Argentina, Ecuador. I mean, they're just gonna march, right? Lionel Messi. Let's say the name out loud for the algorithm. Lionel Messi and Argentina are just gonna march right over them.
Yep, they're just gonna go walk through right them.
I mean, in Ecuador,
practice match.
Ecuador obviously beat Mexico, right? Which was lit.
They tied.
Oh, they tied. Okay, but yeah, see, Ecuador just snuck in because Mexico was so bad. Is kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
So then after that, you got Venezuela, Canada, which could quite possibly turn into the game of the tournament. You know what I mean?
You got the two stepchild.
You got the two outliers, right?
Outliers of the region, the two stepchild of the region. Kind of like Venezuela has always been the worst South American team since
Bolivia. They were better in Bolivia.
I don't know. I'm talking about in general, historically speaking. They've never been to a World Cup, by the way. Venezuela has never been to a World Cup.
Really?
Yep. So they always been that team. If you look at past qualifiers.
Well, okay, hold on. Not to talk a lot of shit, but I guess it makes sense because they would start Ali Moreno as striker, right? Which I remember when he was scoring goals for the crew. I liked him, right? He was cool. Yeah. But yes, you're having trouble qualifying for a World Cup out of South America if your striker plays in MLS in 2007. You know what I mean? I feel you.
and look where he's at now.
He's
like,
wearing a suit every day, my man.
He's on TV, hyping up the U.S. men's national team, where at least up until the other night where he literally bashed. So
yeah, I didn't mean to really talk shit. I've really enjoyed Ali Moreno's
Ali Moreno's
post-playing
awesome,
career.
I love hearing his take, because the man played for Venezuela. It's not like necessarily he played here.
Right,
but,
I'm not crazy. It was Venezuela, right?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Venezuela. but the man's, I like listening to his take, but Venezuela, historically speaking, in the World Cup qualifiers, has always been that last place team. Up until the past 10 years, 10, 15 years, they've gotten a little bit better. And now they're actually not bad.
Well, Canada's got to have more talent than that team, right?
Well, didn't they just lose? They just lost Tejan Buchanan earlier today.
Oh, yeah, I heard. Yeah, so, it sounded like he went to the hospital from practice, so he broke something. He broke something.
I think he had a tibia injury.
Oh, no.
So
that's brutal. And,
So that could literally derail any mentality this team has.
Well, and they're thin, right? Let's not pretend Canada isn't 11 players plus 2. You know what I mean? They're not a full, they're not reaching deep in their bench, right? So
they're like the U.S. men's national team in 2010.
Yeah, you know what? You got a point. You got a point. So Jesse Marsch leading Canada. How do we feel? I think we just did a whole segment about why didn't we hire Jesse Marsch instead of Greg Berhalter.
So at this point, if Canada were to lose 5-0 or 5-0 against Venezuela, the man's keeping his job.
Well, yeah, of course. They could lose 10-0, and it's he's had 10. He started last week. It's fine.
They found their golden goose now. So
he's got a name tag that says, "Hello, my name is Jesse. It's my first week."
Exactly. So for all we know, they probably set him up in his old place in Montreal.
You never know, man. I'm sure they're out of Toronto, right? But yeah. So I don't want to go through the whole rest of the tournament. I just want to say this: who you got right now? How does it feel before the round of 8 kicks off? How do you feel? Who do you think's taking the Copa?
Who's taking the Copa? I honestly think Uruguay is.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say Panama. No, Uruguay.
Panama's not Turkey.
I mean, if Uruguay beats Brazil, then they've got Colombia. They've got a gauntlet to get through to get to probably Argentina, who's going to walk Ecuador and then the winner of Venezuela, Canada, right? So you've got Argentina coming out of that side. Whoever gets through that other side is a G, because if Brazil beats Uruguay, then Chile or not Colombia, you know what I mean? Then they're golden. If Uruguay does it, they're golden. If Colombia a little less impressive if they beat Panama than one of the other guys. But still, I don't know, man.
If Uruguay is gonna go through that through hell and back to get to the final, I mean, stuff like that does things to a team, so especially if let's say Argentina cakewalks past who they're playing again, I don't even know. Against
they play Ecuador and then they play Venezuela, Canada.
Yeah, so if they get past those teams, it's I don't know. I honestly think that it's either going to be Colombia or Uruguay.
Yeah, I mean, whoever it is on that side will be battle tested, and Argentina will be fresh. So it's like, who do you got? It's hard to bet against Argentina with this. I just think the Uruguays, Brazils, and Colombias are just going to beat themselves apart. By the time they get to Argentina, they're going to have yellow cards and injuries and tired players. Honestly, it's my thoughts.
So my thing is that, for example, they beat Argentina in Argentina 2-0.
Yeah, they did. They most certainly did.
They beat Brazil 2-1. So this is not like a team that doesn't know what they're doing and they're getting this. This is not a Cinderella team. This is a team that is battle tested.
No, they're on the come up. Yeah, they're ready.
Yeah, who do you know goes to Argentina and beats them 2-0? Not a 1-0, not a flimsy goal. This was 2-0. You know, and Messi's house, and the house that Messi built. Who does that?
Not many. All right, well, talking about a messy house, we're going to end this segment, and we're going to come back to you with one of the most cheery things on planet Earth, the Supreme Court. No, the Chicago Fire. We're going to talk about the Chicago Fire, everybody. Stay tuned. Peace.
I just lost my voice. This is probably one of the craziest games I've been to. Wow. You know what? Forget everything I said.
Welcome back, fellow enemies of the Fire. We're here for the namesake of the podcast. Let's talk about the Chicago Fire. So oh God, I'm never prepared with this because we're at such the ho hum section of the season where it's just like, hey, we play, oh yeah, just nothing. We played Seattle.
We're not excited.
We're not. So we took the lead against Seattle and then gave up 2 penalties, which that's lit.
that should tell you how bad our defense is, that they have to foul players in the box.
Well, he clearly fouled. I mean, we're at that point of the season where I got the game on, but I don't even got the commentary. I got another TV show on. I'm messing with this, that, and the other, like just whatevering. You know what I mean? That's what we're already at the whatevering portion of the season. Or we've been there. That's the problem.
We've been there, man.
We've been there.
Man, at this point, Fred Klopas was just a placeholder.
I mean, is it even realistic? So, I think we said it before they had those 2-game wins, that 2-game win streak. We were saying,
we were like, oh boy, how long is this gonna last?
Yeah, well, it was like, what's. We were already like, if they don't fire Klopas now, they're never going to. No. So we're positive they're not firing Klopas, right? Because this was the first fucking winnable game we've had in Seattle ever.
Yeah, yep, it was. This is when Seattle sucks.
Yeah,
but we realized that we suck worse.
Yeah, I am sorry for all the cursing. Just, God.
Yeah, we don't like Seattle.
No, I love Seattle. I love Seattle, but we just never win there. They're terrible.
I hate their team. I hate their city. I don't care.
Oh, you're insane. So the Seattle games, whatever. It happened. It sucked. Is there I'm so pressed I'm trying not just to fill air because why do the show, but I'm saying I'm so pressed to find anything about the game itself to even talk about that's interesting. I'm hard pressed to find anything to give a shit about anything that had who even scored? Was it Selassie?
What's Selassie?
Yeah, I'm trying. At least I remembered that. I guess that was a pretty decent shot actually. That was class, but still, I'm finding it really hard to care about anything or to even remember. It's all glob together. It's a giant glob of everything sucks.
Yeah, it is.
So, I guess what? It's July 2nd. The window's open, right? So we're getting all our Gaston Jimenez rumors, the same teams who won't pay the price we want to sell him for the last 2 seasons. I don't know why the fuck we won't just lower the price and sell the guy. Get rid of him. I heard some wild shit earlier today. I was listening to the competition, and they was praising Gaston's contribution.
Oh.
And okay, that's a little bit of a gross over exaggeration.
Oh.
They were okay with his performance and think that it's just just because the way he's labeled in MLS is why we're mad about it. And he doesn't just suck. It's why would Boca want... The theory is, why would Boca want him if he sucks? I don't know, man. People make bad decisions every day. I was married once before.
Bad decisions, yeah.
Dude... My hair is
Boca
blue and I'm in my 40s. People make bad decisions all the time. God.
If Boca wants him, by all means, hey man, give him a discount, get him out of here. We don't want him anymore. That's it.
I mean,
Like-
please. So, I mean, we haven't heard a lot of rumors. I'm sure there's some things behind the scenes of, like, people of value, like Tehran. But, like, have we heard anything of anything? Like, I'll bring up a name. I haven't even seen the guy. I don't even remember the last time he played. Chris Mueller? He's not injured, right? When was the last time he played?
No.
Can we move him anywhere? Is there? Does Miami need some need some more MLS experience?
Honestly, man, the thing about Chris Mueller, man, is that the year he played with us before he got hurt, he was amazing, and after he got hurt, he hasn't been the same, and it sucks.
Yeah, well,
Because-
amazing is really relative. He was a functional MLS
amazing-
player on a horrible
amazing
team.
I was gonna say amazing on a bad team. So I mean, by the way, I gotta buy some more Frescas.
Did you peep that?
Yeah.
my girl got it
fun
from work.
Fun fact. In Latin America, and I've seen this firsthand, in Honduras, they sell Frescas, but guess what? They put sugar in it.
Oh.
And it's a different taste. It's a different taste profile.
Yeah, no,
But
real
I
sugar is much different than like
Oh
bullshit.
man, bro, like honestly, that drink was amazing. Well, obviously it has sugar. Obviously, it's gonna taste great. So, but is it? I'm like, I know I had this. It doesn't taste this good.
No, it doesn't. But
Yeah.
so
But
anyway,
going
Fresca
back-
and Chris Mueller not as good as they once were.
Yeah. No.
But so like I haven't heard a rumor about Gutierrez. Like even people I don't
Let's-
want to lose, I haven't heard rumors about.
Well, let's be honest here. It might not be a bad thing that we haven't heard any incoming player rumor coming. That's fine, because I don't want to give Heights the. I wouldn't let Heights buy any more players. Like I don't want him to hamstring the next guy that's taking over.
Yeah, but god damn it, man! Like I don't want Heights to sign him, but I don't want to wait till the off season to sign him because
man, you know what?
because then your only options are guys failing at their teams. That's
But
your
the thing
only
is-
option before the MLS season. That look at what Miami did. They got Messi in, they missed the playoffs, and now they're the best team in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like get
Look
the
who's their
guys
head
in,
coach.
huh?
Look who's their head coach.
Yeah, well, God, why is every conversation about coaching?
It's it's wonders what a different head coach can do.
Shocking, but God, I'm losing it, man. Like it's the fire Klopas, please, something.
Just fire Klopas, fire Heights, fire the other guy Peltzer, whatever his
But
name
wait,
is.
so you'd
Get rid of
rather run out the clock and
I'd
not
rather-
you'd rather run out the clock and then get scraps
Yeah.
to start next season.
Yes, I'd rather have the Fire lose all the rest of the games for next season, just so they can fire Klopas, just so they can get rid of Heights, just so they can get rid of the other guy, and bring someone that's going to come in, implement their own system, and for God's sakes, don't bring anybody that you're trying. This is their first job. We've done that, didn't work out. Don't bring anyone that's going to be an intern. You've done that, it didn't work out. You got to bring a guy that has a proven track record, man. And do not mention Caleb Porter. Do not mention the other guy, Jason.
Wait.
Christ.
Okay, so I gotta shout this out. I've got a buddy who's a St. Louis fan, and he's actually mad that they got rid of their coach. He's of the logic that the team did not replace the goals and the assists that they got rid of, and they overperformed last year, and they should have stuck to the plan. How do you feel about what's his name, Bill something? How do you feel about St. Louis's coach?
I really don't feel anything, man. It's like your buddy sounds like he's a what's the term, Moneyball guy?
No, I mean, I mean, I'm under the see.
So
The Fire have lost all give them a chance to build shit talk the way that they've treated us the last 5 years with managers. Now, if this was 8-9 years ago and they hired a guy and they said just trust us 3 years, man, I'd believe it. Now I can't. So but I firmly believe in giving guys a little bit of time. There's no relegation in this league. Right? So as long as you're seeing a plan come together, then keep it together. But there's no plan. There's never been a plan here. It's just been
it's weird because when you have a good head coach that even though you might not, let's say you scrap by in the playoffs, but those games were intense and the team was working well, and you're thinking in yourself, man, if this team had so and so, take it over the top. That's when when you have something cooking. But when you have a guy that, if all of us here, you, myself, James, and the rest of the YouTube world, if we can spot the guy's deficiencies in coaching, then that is a very bad sign.
We had a crew fan on earlier in the podcast who would agree that it is time for the Chicago Fire to move on from their manager.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, how about this? Would you, God, now I'm going to kick myself and forget the kid's name. He was tearing up fucking Fire 2 like crazy, and they just loaned him out.
Talk about Amari
Yeah,
Glasgow.
Amari Glasgow. Would you like to see him promoted to the first team next season when he comes back from loan?
We did see him play a few.
We saw a moment. We saw him. Yeah. We saw a kid try way too hard and be over his head a little bit.
You kind of need to have. And that's the thing. You kind of have. You need the right head coach.
You're right. You're right. You don't want Klopas just to ruin this kid's career before it starts.
You don't want Klopas just going up to the kid like, "Hey, I'm gonna put you in. Get ready. Get ready." You kind of need a head coach that's gonna like, "Hey, man, I know this is all new to you. And this is the first time for it, but let's take it easy. Don't worry. Take deep breaths. You'll be great." Type of situation. But the thing is, it's funny because actually, my cousin who's a big Fire fan actually texted me the other day. He's like, "Hey, how about the Fire just get the guy that got fired from Atlanta?"
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about that. I wouldn't be mad about a lot of rejects from the league currently.
You know what? I'm indifferent about Gonzalo Pineda. I don't know if I would take him. But if it's a replacement for Klopas, you never know. I mean, he might pull a Jesse Marsh.
See, that's the other thing. You could have easily given the guy an interim keys to the car for the last half of the season, and if he wins the job, he wins the job. But in the interim, go after Klopp. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the thing is, it's crazy because in this league, you can have situations like Jesse Marsh where he did horrible in Montreal. He wasn't that good in Montreal, but then he got a second chance at Red Bull, and he.
Well, that's why you see coaches in every sport in the world get 2 or 3 gigs before they're jettisoned to the nether realm. To the Frank de Boer dimension.
Yeah. Alejandro Moreno type of situation.
Yeah, exactly. Just jettison. But
I don't know, man. It's just at this point, man. It's like I'm just going to Fire games just to get out the house and take my kid and have him enjoy some ice cream nachos and go for the giveaways. That's it.
Right. And you're not so we got a game tomorrow on the 3rd of July against Philly, which that game looked a lot harder earlier on in the season. We could be seeing the audition for our new head coach. But
there you go.
So let's touch on that again, because I think it's very important to talk about the actual fans who care enough to go to games and their mentality. And it's I obviously we've said ad nauseum where we stand with things. I just got tickets this year. There's no way I'm missing anything really. You know what I mean? I'm going to everything. Now, if you live far enough away that if it's inconvenient, you said screw it. And Wednesday night, before the 4th of July and on a crappy team, you have no desire to see. You know what I mean? Like, and who's on Philly that it's like, oh, hell yeah, I get to see Kevin Rosenberg or whatever the guy's name is.
Oh, man.
But no, like Daniel Gazdag, hell yeah. But no, wait,
is Kyle Wagner still there?
Yeah. How many D-cell batteries can I get into through security?
Not even. I just want to see if he talks crap about his team.
So, honestly, like we're not excited. We're not excited. Do something to excite us.
It's bad. It's bad, bro. It's like, and I know we talked about this before. It's bad when we get more excited in the off season than the actual season. Like, we get all hyped up.
And then that's the worst is they let us down so many off seasons in a row.
Yeah.
This year was the first year I had like excitement for the season in a long time, and it still is the exact same. Different players, same script. Just
it's bad. And I'm gonna be excited this offseason for like the whole managerial change, the whole front office change.
That was supposed to be this past offseason. What makes you think it's going to happen this time? Heights has a 3-year contract.
My God, he better get shipped off to Switzerland. Hey, become the become the Lugano president or some shit. I don't care.
All right.
Don't touch.
So talking about no rumors, is Shaq coming back? You said Switzerland. You made me think of this. Is Shaqiri coming back to Chicago?
I think both parties, Fire and Shaqiri, have made their intentions well known.
That doesn't mean somebody wants to buy him.
I know. Officially, he's still a Fire player. But unofficially, the man probably cleared out his locker room already.
I mean, it just ended as unceremoniously as it started.
Oh my God.
I
get it. I get it. The hype was kind of, all credit to the video team that pulled off that little,
Oh yeah, the signing video, that was so cool. Yeah, like again,
even the teaser.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that again, the video department has been the shining star. The video department and Sparky have been the only two good things about this team.
Yeah.
Like, did you hear they drove a fucking Tesla through for the Pride Parade? They gave away a Tesla, and it had Mariano's pasted all on the side, and just why of all fucking cars to give away at Pride Parade, why would you pick the Tesla? Anyway, sorry, rant over. Just unbelievable. Anyway, I digress. So, what do you what do you think about the game itself? Philly coming up, the exciting, sexy names of that one guy and Gazdag. They're in free fall. Where are they in the standings? Hold on. Go ahead. What do you think?
I mean, actually, now I'm kind of curious to see on the standings. Where is it? A conference? Thank you.
They're 12th.
12th place.
They're in the Chicago Fire spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in free fall too. They've only got 4 wins on the season. I mean, so do we, but we did it cooler. Anyway, they're a bad team this year. Their window is closed. Like it's going to be fun to see if they reload or fall into obscurity next season. But
maybe they'll fire their head coach and then we can sign him.
I hope so. I mean, I would take Jim Curtin. I wouldn't hate Jim Curtin at the U.S. men's national team, but I mean, I wouldn't love it.
Let's just take for the Fire, okay? Let's not get all crazy with the U.S. men's national team. I told you how we felt about that.
So I told you how we felt.
I told you how me and Connor felt about that. I told you how Connor and I felt about that.
Excellent. The grammar, I love it.
A little crazy, yeah.
So I still think they have a better coach and they're going to find a way to win. I feel like Philly's going to find a way to win this game.
Yeah. he's. I mean, come on, it's Philly, it's Jim Curran. You know, he's back in Chicago. You know, you got Kai Wagner talking crap. You know, what else can go wrong?
Well, I don't know what else could go wrong, but yeah, no. In all seriousness, I think Philly's gonna win that game. I score prediction 2-1.
And don't even mention San Jose, because even though San Jose is trash, they're gonna find a way to beat.
Oh, San Jose is more trash than we are, but we are playing in San Jose. So anyway, we've got the Wednesday game, which is the Philly game that we just told you all about our sunny disposition about. The Saturday game, we travel out to San Jose, which I hear is lovely this time of year, and we play in San Jose. I have seen a San Jose game or two this season, and boy, are they bad. But I have watched a lot of Fire games this season, and boy, are they bad. What do we think, man? Like, I don't even know what San Jose is working with, to be perfectly honest with you, man. You think on the... I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel...
Don't worry, man. San Jose is gonna hype themselves up. Say, hey, man, that's the last place team on the Eastern Conference. We're gonna play them hard.
Dog, they have lost 15 games.
Don't worry, man. They're gonna win a game. They're gonna win a game. They're gonna win against the Fire. Don't worry about that.
They've lost 15 games, dude. I call a draw. 2-2. It's gonna be a barn burner of bad soccer. Tom Barlow, the Tom Barlow brace incoming.
Oh
No. Tom Barlow own goal and goal. You heard it here first.
Somehow, you know what? That's believable. I can see that.
I could see that happening too. I could see Tom Barlow with a perfect header into his own net off of a corner. I could see it now in slow motion, as if it were painted by Michelangelo himself.
You know the worst part about it is that he's not gonna have anybody around him. He's just gonna head it.
It's gonna be fucking beautiful. It's gonna look like Ronaldo just pow right into his own net. Oh God. Oh man, we are, dude. Between politics and the U.S. men's national team and the Fire, this sucks. I'm gonna go spend time with my fiance. This shit sucks.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to the winter.
Yeah. Why? Like what? Like what? Well, I don't know, man. I'm like so at a loss for words, but I just somehow want to scream to the rooftops. Like, I want something to chew on, man. I want anything. I want this team to be like, dog, we suck, but peep this. We're gonna fire this guy. We're gonna do like just tell them that you're going to just announce. Even if their contracts go past this season, announce that you will be terminating the contract at the end of the season. At least do that for us to give us something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Lugano gets Shaq, but they have to take Klopas. Like,
oh man,
that reminds me.
He's not touching that coaching staff either.
That reminds me of one of my favorite tweets ever, which was the Chicago Bulls have signed Gabrielle Union and also get Dwayne Wade in the deal.
Oh man.
Oh God. Anyway, so is there anything else in the world of soccer that isn't quite so doom and gloom to leave the people with? No, you're right. All right, so for Enemies of the Fire, I am FC Neo Tokyo. This has been DPG. We love you. Like, subscribe, punt that like button. Give it up for Jaymes. We love Jaymes. Give it up for DPG. Where can we find you on the internet, DPG? Oh, we can't. Okay, you can find me at FC Neo Tokyo and everywhere. Peace.